beautiful name of Almighty Allah is most Rahman and Rahim and also Qadir Qadir. Today, my subject presentation is business ethics. Department of Business Administration. Introduction. This is Abdul Razaque from BBA 1 at batch. My roll number is 5. Subject is business ethics. Submitted to Ma'am Kuratalin Chandio. Outline for subject. Number first is ethics and business ethics. Number second is corporate social responsibility. Number third is ethics as an organization culture. Ethics and a business ethics. Ethics. What's ethics? First of all, is the discipline that examines one's moral standards or the moral standard of the society. It asks how these standards apply to our lives and whether these standards are reasonable or unreasonable. It's clear that a society as a combination of ethics and the discipline examines one moral standard. As there is a person, he or she shows his society, his or her society. So what's ethics? First of all, a branch of philosophy. Ethics, a branch of philosophy that teaches us to distinguish between right and wrong. It also called a moral philosophy. Indeed, that ethical person, we determine that whether one thing is a good or bad. It's a bad for society or good for society. We determine it and we take it in ethics. Different definitions of ethics. Number first, described in a few words, it is the study of morality. Ethics refers to a system or a code of conduct based on moral duties and obligations, which indicates how we should behave. It deals with the ability to distinguish right from wrong and commitment to do what is right. Indeed, code of conduct based duties and obligations indicates how we should have behaved. Indeed, in every organization and everywhere, we have obligations that indicate how we should have to behave. How we should have to behave in front of a teacher. How should we have to behave in front of our friend. How should we have to behave in front of our parents. So it's ability it's provide the ability that right and wrong we identify by this. Business ethics. So first of all, what is the business ethics? It can be described as the study of moral standards and how these apply to the system and organization through which modern societies produce and distributes goods and services, and to the people who work in these organizations. Indeed, in business ethics, we are supposed to distribute our goods and services to the society with the help of business ethics, because if we have ethics, there will be a more production, there will be a more sale, and we can distribute all the goods and services to the people without any difficulty. Levels of business ethics or issues that business ethics covers. Number first is a systemic issues. Systemic issues or the issue that relate to the legal system within which a business operate. Indeed, it belongs to the any business and operate. They operate in the systemic issues. It can be from the internal resources of the organization or company. Number second is a corporate issue. Corporate issues are those ethical issues or questions that can be raised about a particular company. Indeed, if there is a company named as a PMG, there is issues are going in a company that would be said to be that they are not dealing with people with the ethics, and they are not dealing with the people with the ethical, their behavior is not ethical, so we can say that it belongs to the PNG company. There's another company that used to behave a good in such a condition. Corporate social responsibility. Corporate social responsibility corporate social responsibility, a company sense of responsibility towards the community and the environment both ecological and social in which it operates. Means a responsibility toward the community or environment, social it in which it operates. A responsibility beyond economic and legal obligations to act ethically and contribute in a positive way to society, because it's a responsibility of everyone that they should have to benefit and they should have to be contribute a positive with a positive way to the society, to the country, or everywhere. Why corporate social responsibility? Why? Why corporate? Why corporate social responsibility? Pragmatic means is that dealing with the problems that exist in a specific situation in a specific time period and also it can be said that pragmatic to deal with them be a realistic one because follow the real things to maintain legitimacy, protect reputation, viability. We must use power, responsibility, and risk losing it. Indeed, the protect reputation every organization and every socially corporate social responsibility that everyone should have to do not damage their reputation in their organization. So ethical as a part of society, we have the responsibility to behave ethically and to contribute to the great good, because ethically every corporation, every company, every organization wanted to contribute to the society in a positive way. Strategic being socially responsible create should share a value and can differentiate philanthropist responsibilities, types of corporate social responsibility. There's four types of corporate social responsibility. Number philanthropic reasonable responsibilities. Yeah, what is the philanthropist responsibilities? The every person be humble and kindness. Philanthropy mean loyal or being humble and kind to the person or kind to the society, because every is a social responsibility that we should have all to be a philanthropist philanthropist to the society, because every company should have to be a philanthropist to society and country. By this it should be followed by every company to contribute to the social to the society and country. Number second is ethical responsibility. Philanthropy is also ethical responsibility. It is the ability to recognize, interpret, act upon multiple principles and values according to the standard within a given field. Because recognize, interpret upon a multiple principles and values, because there is the ethical responsibility that we should have to value and to the recognize the person value according to the standard within a given field. We should have to respond everyone. We should have to behave ethically to everyone. It's the ethical responsibility of corporation. And there's a legal responsibility. A legal responsibility. The companies have a responsibility to obey the laws of country, and a legal response for everyone and legal penalty for not doing so. It's for those who are not following the rules and regulations of countries and laws, and they are not obeying the law and they don't follow the law of country or the organization or the trade centers, for instance. After that, there's economic responsibility. Economic responsibility means ensuring that there is an economic benefit that a region from which the purchase came and the region in which it is marketed, because we know that economic responsibility is that for every corporation, that they must have to benefit the region from which the purchase come and the region in which it is marketed. For instance, I have a product and I wanted to sell in Pakistan, so I should have to benefit the Pakistan as well. I should have to benefit, I should have to contribute in the economy of Pakistan as well. And a region which is marketed, for instance, it's a region, I have one product named as juice, so I will market it in Pakistan. So I will get a profit from it, and I should have to benefit the Pakistan. Ethics as a organization culture. Culture, first of all, a body of learned beliefs, traditions, and guides for behavior, shared among of a society or a group. Broadly, heritage of a group. It's a pattern of belief and response discovered, developed, or invented during interactions among the member. Indeed, it's a belief, learned beliefs, and tradition, and guide for behavior shared among members of society. So, belief and tradition. There's two learned beliefs and tradition, because you know very well we belong to the traditions. We have also a belief system. We also follow the tradition of Sindh. For instance, I'm giving you an example. Guides for behavior, because Sindhi people always we are responsible to respect the guests, because we are this. It's our culture. It's involved in our tradition. So for that, the body, it's a belief that we should have to give a respect to a person, and heritage of group, how it can be learned throughout our family, throughout our tradition, throughout society. We learn that, and this, because family members one thing do, and we should have also to follow. If a sin has created a topi ajrak day, and we should have to celebrate it with by wearing a topi and ajrak on that day. This is a culture. Organization culture. Value, belief, behavior, customs, and attitudes that help the members of the organization understand what is stand for, how it does things, and what it considers important. Obviously, that the value, beliefs, customs, and attitudes that help the organization, how it does work, and what it considers important, because it's so important for the organization culture. Values, that person should be valued, his belief should be safe, behavior should be his good, custom should not be addressed, and attitude should be maintained, because every organization deals with these values, beliefs, and behavior, customers, attitudes. That every employee have a different behaviors, values, attitudes. So express shared assumptions, values, and beliefs, and it is social glue that holds the organization together. It's how we do things around here. Strong assumptions, value, beliefs, widely shared, a weak subgroup norms, more influential. So means beliefs should be in an organization culture. Importance of organization culture. Culture determines the overall feelings of the organization, although it may vary across different segments of the organization. Culture is a powerful force that can shape the firm's overall effectiveness and long-term success. And these the culture determines the overall feelings of their employees. Though they may across different segments in organization. So there's I'm giving one example that there's a person they belong to accounting and finance. They do a financially. Their behavior and organization, their culture is so different, because they should be that the person should not have to come in a finance room without permission. So means culture is over there, and powerful force that can shape the firm overall effectiveness in the long term, because by this culture they can save and they can get a success of long-term success of company or an organization. Managing organization culture. Understand the current culture to decide whether to maintain or change it. Articulate the culture through slogans, ceremonies and share experience, reward and promote people whose behavior are consistent with the desired cultural values. Means we should have to understand the current culture, whether to maintain it or to make it or change it. Culture through slogans. We should have to change the slogans. I'm giving you one example of an organization or any school that idea can change life. In idea can change lives. It's a slogan by any organization or anyone. Reward and promote peoples whose behavior are consistent uh, with desired cultural values. Promote whose behaviors employee behavior is good throughout the year. They can be rewarded and they can be promoted to the good level as well. Changing organization culture. Develop a clear idea of what kind of culture you want to create, because in every organization there is a different culture. So everyone wanted to change the culture. It's not a cup of tea of everyone. Bring in outsiders to important manager positions, adopt new slogans, stories, ceremonies, and purposely break the tradition. Sometimes the people or manager follows, they used to change the culture. Its example can be that the culture of organization is that before they could not greet everyone in an office from in morning, but the culture changed. Manager changed the culture because in morning everyone should have to greet to everyone. For instance, there is one person I used to greet them. Assalamu alaikum with a salam. Assalamu alaikum. How are you? I'm fine and fit. This is greeting. This everyday greeting. By this, it creates a combination of organization culture, and by this, that their determination and their thoughts combinedly actively work for organization, and by this, it creates a loyalty as well. Friendship also create a friendship and loyalty. And by this, the continuously and combinedly they work for the success of an organization. Ethics and a culture. Ethics, how an individual personal belief regarding what's right and what's wrong are good and bad indeed, because an individual person can its belief by watching, by thinking, that he can see by his ethical perception that whether it's a good thing or right or wrong thing. Ethical behavior. This behavior is the eye of the beholder. However, it also refers to the behavior that conforms to generally accepted social norms. Problems occur in ambiguous situation that can be interpreted in different ways, because ethical behavior ethical behavior, you can solve all problems, and you can interpret you can create any solution for a problem with ethical behavior, which you cannot get by unethical way, because use ethical behavior. By this you can get the solution of a problem that occurs in an ambiguous situation. So for that you can also get them. And it's an example of unethical behavior: borrowing office supplies for personal use, surfing the need on company time, filling falsified or inflated business expenses reports. Indeed, that the companies think of any person that can be used by me in the in absent of that person. For instance, because in the office time I used to do different work, it means the unethical behavior to them during to respond the persons in the organization. I do not respond them. I'm busy in my work. I'm not responding any person. This is also unethical behavior of a person in an organization. Ethics in an organization. Individual values plus organization values is equal to manager values. For instance, individual values are those means socially beliefs, tradition, customs, attitudes of a person or individual. And organization values of that you should be a security, you should not have to share anything. Their ethical values are also, it also creates a managerial values. It means that the managerial values create that with the combination of two things. Number first is the individual values plus organization values. Thanks for watching this video.